Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Post season 5, our long range meta here in Warzone is very competitive. We got several different options across the board, and today we are breaking down what those best weapons and best choices are for long range, starting first here with the STG. Its damage, of course, has been reduced a bit over the past few weapon changes and weapon tuning updates, but it is still a super low recoil, very consistent weapon to use over long range. It's not a melt machine powerhouse, but it is exactly what you'd want out of a super well balanced rifle. And of course, because it's a Vanguard gun, it is basically consistent in every sort of category you're looking for. Damage, recoil, mobility, you name it, the STG has it. So first up here, we're going for the MX silencer, pretty standard for long range, right? Longest barrel in this case is going to be the 760, gives you better control, better range, better velocity, all perfect for long range. As far as the optics go for long range, of course, with the season 5 update, we got a nerf to the 3 to 6 times scope. It now has more recoil, and it also has a slower ADS now on rifles, and then over on snipers it has glints, so it's still usable. It's just a tad bit more obnoxious than it was before, which of course was like just a laser beam, had no recoil, was very straightforward. It's still an option for sure. I've seen other players though talking about how they like the Slate 3.25. Other players are fans of just the basic 2.5 times the 3.5 rifle scope. I personally feel like the 2.5 works just fine. From 60 to 100 meters, you can still spot players with this very easily. So that's what I've been running, but really optics are all preference based, as you'll see throughout the video here. For the stock, we're going for weighted, better control here, so just even more of a laser beam. Carver foregrip on here, the recoil is largely vertical, so that's going to help out with that. We got the Granco 50, better control, better fire rate, will help out with the TTK. We got lengthen for that better velocity. We've got Pine Tar for our grip here, which again focuses on vertical control, so this thing is going to be a laser beam. Perk 1, we got Nerves of Steel, better control while injured. Perk 2, we got fully loaded, or you could use on hand for that faster ADS. Now, the long range meta at long last is not exclusively Vanguard weapons. It seems the Vargo 52 is feeling better than ever. It got an ADS buff with season 5. Its damage is super consistent. The thing is just a beast when it comes down to it. For a Cold War weapon, it's one of my top choices for sure. Here we got the Grau suppressor, we got the Task Force barrel. Lately, I've actually been using the speed grip here because this eliminates some horizontal recoil, and it really makes that pattern almost straight vertical, so it's super easy to use. Based on my gameplay, the Spetsnaz speed grip was actually doing more for me than the Spetsnaz grip was. I felt like I was able to control the weapon a lot easier with that, so take that into consideration. We also got the 60 round mags on here, and lastly the 3 times optic. Relatively standard Cold War setup here, and with the power and the range and the damage that the Vargo has, it absolutely is fitting into our long range meta. Another option that I love to see here in the long range meta, the Grau. It is easy to use. It is of course an iconic weapon here in Warzone, my favorite of all time actually. Here we got monolithic suppressor, we got the Archangel barrel. Unfortunately, we get to negate those just incredible iron sights because for long range you do want the VLK 3 times optic on there. 50 or 60 round mag, totally up to you there, and then the Commando foregrip for that better control. Standard rifle setup for an MW gun, but the Grau in particular here feeling so good. Of course, probably the most dominant long range weapon we have in the game right now, the UGM. When it comes to pure TTK, very few things can match the UGM over range. This thing is just absurd. Real quick before we break down the attachments here, just a reminder, if you are new to the channel, feel free to hit that sub button. Every single day I got you covered with the latest news, updates, loadouts, everything going on in COD. You'll find it here. And if you guys enjoy this video or if you find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. But the UGM setup here, there's actually 2 different ones that have some minor changes. The standard one though that I've been using for a while now consists of the MX silencer, the 736 barrel. Now we are using the 2.5 times scope, again same deal as before. If you want 3 to 6, 3.25, totally comes down to preference there. I've got the anchor stock here, better control during sustained fire. Perk 1, we got tight grip, which is also sustained fire, so no worries about crossing over there. We got fully loaded here. You do run out of ammo somewhat quickly, so that's actually pretty important. We got hatched for better control. The 125 round Sakura rounds here are great for easy recoil, good damage, but you have to reload often, and that fire rate is faster, so hence fully loaded, right? We got lengthened on there. Then lastly, I got the strife angled for some of that control as well, making it mainly vertical. Now, the only alternative build here that honestly is very fun as well, you switch MX to Mercury here, which will be a little bit faster. You still get better control and better velocity. Then you also change out tight grip for Surveil, which gives you better velocity, which is very nice. So this is a little bit harder to use because it has a little more recoil, but over range, it hits. It just feels strong. So a little bit harder, but also great damage, great TTK. Another one of my favorites that is a non-Vanguard weapon here, the XM4. This thing is still feeling very consistent here in Season 5. Really hasn't seen changes in quite some time. So if it was good before and didn't see any changes, it's still good now, right? Here we got Agency Suppressor Task Force. We are going for Field Agent. In this case, we got the 60 round mag and the 3x optic, the true copy and paste Cold War rifle setup. But hey, it feels good right now in Season 5. It's getting the job done. And then our last rifle for this list is going to be the Automaton. This is almost even with the STG in every way, right? Super minimal recoil, decent damage over range. Its velocity is a bit lower, but it also is just so easy to use. You're gonna land shots consistently with this, right? So we got the MX silencer on here. Our first barrel, the 600, is gonna be better control all around, so just makes it easier to use. 2.5 times whatever optic you might prefer. For our stock, we got padded, better control during sustained fire. Same deal with tight grip here. Fully loaded or on hand yet again. We got pine tar here as well for that vertical control, so this thing's super easy. The basic 75 round extended mag here. We got lengthened as always. Then for our underbarrel, we got Carver for that better vertical control. This thing is a laser beam, one of the easiest guns to use in the game, and because of that, has a very solid realistic TTK. And of course, when it comes to the long range meta, we gotta talk some snipers. I got two solid choices for you guys in this video. Snipers are still good at long range, especially these that can one shot at any range. The 3-line, for instance, very solid for medium and long range because of its great velocity, can one shot to the head at any range. Like, it's very, very consistent here. We are starting with the Mercury silencer. We got the first barrel, the 514, no damage fall off, so that's super nice. Also better velocity and a better ADS, so that's primarily what I'm looking for there. I like the base optic, so I don't end up going for any scope here, but if you like one better than the base one, feel free to choose that. I got the custom MZ stock for the better ADS. We got the skeletal underbarrel for a better ADS as well. The 20 round mags, better damage, better velocity on there. We got lengthen for the better velocity, of course. I go for fabric for my rear grip here. Leather is also a good choice. Both of those will help out with your aim down sight speed. Perk 1, going for silent focus, better stability. Perk 2 on hand for that faster ADS. So this is nice and aggressive, but also still super powerful. And then lastly, we got the ZRG, of obviously a non-Vanguard weapon here. And in terms of snipers, when the Swiss and the CAR don't one-shot past like 70 meters, they're not super viable for long range, whereas the ZRG can one shot at any range. It's super, super powerful, and I just like the feel of this over something versus maybe the Gorenko or the HDR or the AX50, for instance, but that more so is preference based. Here we're going for the sound moderator, gonna help out with the velocity, keep us off the radar, but it's not gonna slow us down as much as the RAP suppressor would, so the ADS still is not too bad. We got combat recon, we got the 5 milliwatt laser for the faster ADS. I don't like the base optic here, it zooms in too much, so I go for the 6 times instead. Then lastly, I got the 5 round mag because 3 rounds is just not super practical, but this is a very strong sniper, especially for long range fights. And that being said, my friends, that is the current long range meta here in Warzone Season 5. That's gonna wrap things up. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, or if you have not already subscribed, every single day I got you covered with all things going on. So feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. And I will catch you guys later. Peace out.